What's going on, people? It's your man YB. Once again, big shout out to my dog Gareth Knight for coming through and boosting the coins. So, we got some whopper news for the great and washed masses right now regarding Ben Whittaker. It's one of them ones, folks. So, this news got leaked to Ring Magazine. Ben Whittaker will be fighting Benjamin Gavazzani. Come on, man. Benjamin Gavazzani. Never heard of him. What is wrong? Listen, man. Listen, let me be fair here. I did check his box rec. He'd only had 10 fights. It feels like he's been around forever. Maybe that's a credit to him. Because he's like... Normally, we wouldn't even know about a 9-1. A 9-0-1 prospect. So yeah, fair play to him, but he never could punch, could he really? Okay, listen, he pushed back Liam Cameron's wig. Liam Metherbiev Cameron. He pushed his wig back, kind of. Right, it was controversial. Cameron went out sad though. Cameron did go out sad. Oh, I'm happy to be here. Liam Cameron was in I'm happy to be here club. Right, that was his Olympic final, the first fight. He won the gold medal. He should have protested that, in my opinion, and pushed for a third fight. The stoppage was controversial, in my opinion. He got stopped in his feet in round 2. I don't believe you can really ever take a beating in round 2 to get stopped with. Cameron's, listen, he was buzzed, no doubt. How did Fury get a 9 count, whatever they call it, an 8 count, standing 8? That's what it should have been. That should be the rule, really. After 6 rounds, you should be stopped because it's implied you're tired. But in the first 6... unless there's clear signs that you're finished, like proper finish, like can't defend yourself finished. Cameron was buzzed, yeah. His head was down, he's catching some of the shots. That's standing8count.com. But Cameron himself, you can argue, well, he was being humble, he didn't want to steal Ben Whittaker's shine. I'd be saying, Ben Shalong paid the judges, man. That's what he did. The ref, he paid him allegedly. That's what I'd be saying. If I was Cameron, I'd be saying they paid him. What are you talking about? Yeah? I was rocking and rolling with the shots. I was fixing to have a go on him. Yeah. I was letting him punch himself out. I know he ain't got no gas. He couldn't punch. That's why I was on my feet. If he could punch, I'd be flat on my back, wouldn't I? Right? I was doing exactly what I did the first fight. Tucking up, rocking and rolling. It's about narratives. Anywho. I mean, he has knocked out a few stiffs, hasn't he? He's knocked a few stiffs out. The first fight I watched of his, Ben Whittaker, was the Ezra one, and I wasn't impressed, to tell the truth. Ben was just faffing around. But whatever, listen, under Andy Lee, he looks alright under Andy Lee. However, what is this here? Benjamin Gavazzani. Let's have a look at this cat here. Never heard of him. Not even half a day of my life heard of this cat here. Well, he's 19-1. But again, I don't know, man. Look at the resume. They're all unranked. Where are these plumbers even from? Yeah, they're furore plumbers, man. Look at these ones here. Never heard any of them, man. You just had a life and death, 10-round life and death with Branimir. Come on, man. Now again, he has only had 10 fights. Sorry. So, yeah, listen. I guess it's difficult from his point of view. The fact he's got so much social media clout, that brings him into the spotlight, which then creates pressure. I'm not going to watch this, for sure. Honestly, I won't watch it live. Forget, what's the point? It's going to be, Ben Whittaker's going to be a 30-1 favourite. Obviously, Eggy Hearn's done his job. That's what they do. What do I mean by that? Well, they kind of, he's 19-1. Right? They do that. He's 19-1. But 19-1 of what? He lost his first fight in a points decision. But the rest of them, look at the... Yeah? 2 fights ago, this cat, Benjamin Gavazzani, he fought a man who was 11-16. Right? That's what he was doing. Fighting a man who was 11-16. Okay, fair play to him. He did fight a man who was 10-0. Whatever that's worth. But you ain't pulling the wool over my eyes. And I'm not trying to be too critical here. I get it. Like, you kind of make sense to it. I'm not sure how much you learn. I think, to be fair to Ben, I think from that Cameron fight, right, it's fair to say he learnt something from that. And let's get rid of this kind of new age way of thinking. Oh, I need to keep my O. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that. It doesn't carry no value. If you bounce back and come better, like the Liam Cameron 2 performance, then you've learnt something. Ben himself said he was getting too lost in the sauce. He thought he was that guy. He thought he could rock up with no training and just do people serious harm. That's what he thought. Now, I'm not saying you put him in there now with Ahmed Baterbiev. But dig Lyndon. What's Lyndon Arthur doing, man? For example, he can't punch. Lyndon Arthur can't punch. What's he doing? Get him in there with Ben. Some people have said, I've heard recently, oh, Lyndon would beat Whittaker. Never. Forget about it. That would never happen, man. Whittaker would box his head right off. He would. I'm not Whittaker's biggest fan, but he would box Lyndon Arthur's head right off. And that's a fair level, right? Lyndon Arthur had life and death with Liam Cameron. I think Liam Cameron's more of a dangerous puncher than Lyndon Arthur. All Lyndon's really got is a bit of a jab. So it's a safe fight, but it's got British relevance. Or even Dan Aziz. Again, a tough fight. Maybe that's a step that might be quite tough. But what are we doing here then? What are we doing? Did you just knock out Liam Cameron in round 2 or not? If you did, why are you taking this? Wait a minute. Liam Cameron undoubtedly was a step up. Even though the bookies had it like, what was it on Fight Night? I think the bookies had it 20-1. I swear down. On the night of the fight. They had it 20-1. Believe it or not. For Ben Whittaker. But it was a step up, Liam Cameron. Whittaker's never fought no one of no note at all. So you've stepped up, you've fought him twice, you've just knocked him out, allegedly. And now you're dropping back down. I think he's gone. That Ezra dude, I can't make out. Jordan Grant I've heard of, I'm pretty sure. Have I heard of him? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I haven't heard of him. I'm not sure who I've heard of now. But the point is, I'd heard of Liam Cameron, and you've beat him now. There should be a middle ground, right? You're not dropping back down to Plummersville, surely. What's this doing? Someone like a Lyndon Arthur, I think he's fighting, to be fair. But let's get some names up right now. That's what we should do. Because it's not, I don't know, man. Now there's an argument, well, YB, he's just moved stable. It's been a turbulent time for him. He wants a settling in fight. And he's only had 10 fights. Let's build him. Listen, man, how much building did Dubois have? He still ain't learnt, to be fair, Dubois, but I just don't know how much value there is by knocking stiffs out. Sorry, I'm not sure. That's the thing. Ben might not even knock him out. He's got a history of not knocking people out. He didn't knock Ezra out. Now maybe Andy Lee's going to sprinkle his Yippo magic on it, and fair play if he does. But even if he did, let's say Ben goes in there and starches this cat in one fight. Now the argument is, well, it's only one fight, YB. He'll be 10-0-1. What's the rush? And there's an element of that. I don't like step backs though. Like big step backs. I'd say Lyndon Arthur's a fair step. A fair step. No risk there. He's not going to knock your block off. And it'll be a fair boxing fight. Lyndon's going to have a jab out there and you're going to have to work things out. But it's not... Lyndon Arthur isn't a multi-dimensional challenge. You're not going to be sitting there spooked or completely confused about what to do. It's a fair boxing fight that most of us half-serious cats would watch. I'd watch that. It's intriguing. This has no intrigue. Sorry. But... Whittaker's built a career on fighting plumbers and somehow generating intrigue on social media. I think a lot of it's social media clicks. If you put him in a pay-per-view, I don't know if it ain't going to do the numbers, I don't think. So let's have a look at these names anyway. Who could he fight? Willie Hutchinson. Okay, made that a step too far. Craig Richards. Yeah, what's Craig doing? Do you know what I mean? Apparently, that can't be the same guy. No, it's not the same guy. Forget that. So you've got Craig Richards, Lyndon Arthur. Yeah, it gets a bit peak. Edmondson, Dan Aziz. Any of these names. Honestly. What else you got? Yeah, I haven't really heard no one else after that, to be fair. Those are the British names. I wouldn't even have minded Liam Cameron 3, to be fair. Honestly. Even that one the third time. If you're going to step... You can't tell me Whittaker versus Cameron 3 is 10 times bigger than this. There's still a narrative there. that could have been a Moody stoppage. Whether it was rigged or not is another conversation, but that legitimately, you might have just caught him. Go back and run that again. That's going to do numbers. This one, does Eggy want to kind of separate? Most likely he wants to separate Ben and make his own little run now. Whenever these dudes move promoters, they almost start again. It's like, well, yeah, you built up on that stable, but now we're going to rebuild you. As if that means... The fans don't care about Matchroom Moody rebuilds. We want solid fights, and this ain't one of them. What's the argument here? Oh, how'd you do... You know what I mean? That was the whole... People was... After he beat Ezra, people was calling saying, alright, we've seen you punking idiots now. You know, he's doing all that flashy shit. Okay, we've seen that now. You got to do something. He did something. It went left for him bigly. Then he does the rematch. But we ain't forgot. Okay, let's take it at its merit. Okay, you knocked out Liam Cameron in round 2. What part of are just... That's what they allege. They allege they knocked him out in round 2. So if you believe you knocked out Liam Cameron in round 2, the math ain't mathing. Yeah? I just knocked out Liam Cameron in round 2. I'm the hardest man on earth. One of the hardest men on earth. Right? Why are you dropping down for? Stable change or not? Who gives a who cares about a stable change? You're an elite athlete. You're not moving... Even then, you're not moving weight divisions and, I need a warm-up. I'm tired of seeing warm-ups. No one's saying he needs to go in there with someone who's really dangerous. But we saw this with Anthony Yard. Right? I think in boxing, the middle fights are the most critical. Yeah? Anthony Yard's career was ruined in my opinion. Not saying he would beat everyone anyway, but name me a middle-level dude Anthony Yard ever fought. You'd have to go with Lyndon Arthur. And he had life and death twice, and he did the business once. That's the only mid-level fight I can think of in Anthony Yard's whole career. That was the part that was missing. Anthony Yard never had a problem knocking a bum out. He'd been doing that. And then he'd go from knocking pure bums out to... Or recently, he's been having life and death with Latvian Deliveroo plumbers, right? Before he fights... Oh, wait a minute. Who did Yard fight? Yeah. He fought a Latvian Deliveroo plumber and had a 10-round life and death. Then he fights Lyndon Arthur and has a 10-round life and death. But even before that, name me the mid-level guy that Anthony Yard fought before he fought Kovalev. Not one. In fact, I'm not even sure he had any rounds. Let's check that. Let's have a look. Because that's how it's looking right now. Listen, Ben fought Liam Cameron, which is a step in the right direction. But what are we doing here now? Let's have a look. When did he fight Kovalev? Wow. I've never seen so many stiffs on someone's resume. Honestly. Okay, yeah, look. This is what I'm talking about. Anthony Yard fought Kovalev, and in the fight before it, he fought Travis Reeves and Walter Gabriel and Darius Sek and Tony Avalan. And now, listen, no doubt all them cats I've just named, they're nice people. We're not talking about that though. Does fighting Travis Reeves prepare you to fight Sergey Kovalev? It does not. Does fighting Walter Gabriel Sequeira prepare you for fighting Sergey Kovalev? It cannot, ever. And then when he got popped by Kovalev, now there's always an argument, well, whoop-de-whoop. When he got popped by Kovalev, Anthony Yard gets in there with a man who's 4-48. That's what he immediately does after. Right, and that's why I do rate. People laugh at... I laugh at Caleb Plant. I laugh at Eminem. Right, we all have a good giggle at Eminem Plant. Yeah? But to be fair to Plant, whenever he got popped, he's hanging around in the mix, there or thereabouts. That's at world level though. But I guess Kovalev was at world level. Right? You get popped by Kovalev in arguably somewhat of a close fight. You're supposed to hang around, drop down a little bit. Let's see who else is knocking around at contender level. You can't fall off the wagon. And this cat ain't even lost. Ben Whittaker ain't even lost. Why are we taking steps back for? Because you're going to end up... Now listen, maybe, you jumping the gun here. You don't know. You jumping the gun. No, it's only fight 11. What is it? It was only fight 11 for Yard as well. Look what happened. 10 years goes quick, man. It's always only... Right? You've got to have the main. I feel like a lot of these promoters, yeah, in recent years, I guess even Mike Tyson did this to some extent, or he was just that ferocious. But they build it on a bum of the month campaign, beat a bunch of bums, create a bunch of hype, but it's hollow. Yeah, you need their middle fights where you have to ask questions of yourself in preparation. If you know you're going to win a fight, like Ben knows he's going to win this fight, it's not the same as sitting there having to live with yourself, questioning yourself. It's a different type of preparation. Look how Ben came into the Cameron 1 fight. See what I mean? Hollow confidence. Not real. It's not legit. You just think you're that guy. Oops. Busted. You got your chops popped. Whoop. Yeah. All hopping out the ring and That's what you was on. He is now, for me, taking that Cameron fight at face value. You have ascended the bum of the month campaign. I don't care if you move to another promoter next month. It's got to be serious. Not serious, but cats who, you know what I mean? Half serious cats at least. Because what is it? Come on. What's he going to learn from beating this guy? I haven't even watched him, but I can just tell you now. Yeah, I can just tell you now. I don't have to watch him. You know what you're getting with this one. What's he think you're going to learn from this? Oh, we're going to build his confidence again. You build confidence from beating. Like, Whittaker can take confidence from beating Cameron. Yeah? You can't take no confidence. Only fake confidence can you take from this. And I can't understand that. Okay, let's say he just got knocked out by Cameron in the rematch. That makes sense. Drop down then, because you're in trouble. You do need a rebuild for sure. Let's see if we can cook something up in a rebuild here and start at the very bottom. You're coming off the best win in your career in great fashion, and you straight back down to the low leagues. Why? Why though? Seriously, why? Now, the fight, another argument you can maybe bail him out with is that the fight's on November 29th. So the argument will be, well, it's only 6 weeks. That's what these promoters, they be doing this though. Oh, well, we only had 6 weeks. Listen, man, you knew about signing Ben Whittaker for 3 months, man. You could have been planning this. That's what you could have been doing. Yeah? Don't pull that one on. Oh, we need to get him active now because he's had... When did he fight last? Let's have a look. He fought... It was in April. So yeah, he's had 6 months out. We want to get him out. We don't want him inactive. But how old? Ben's not that young. He's quite young. He's 28. But you don't want to be burning a bunch of time in these 6 month cycles fighting stiffs. Now, you have to kind of give him off, or let him off. Oh, well, it's the moody promoter change that's got me out of shape. It got me like, oh, I don't know where I need to get my bearings. Really? Don't forget as well, it's a double-edged sword here. Yeah? What was he, Olympic silver medalist? For me, when you spend so long in the amateurs is not the pro game, no doubt, but when you spend so long in the amateurs, it is expected of you as well. Lomachenko, I think it was his second fight. He's hopping in there with the world champion. That's extreme. Usyk, within a short amount of time, he's hopping in there with the best. Yeah? Again, you've just knocked out stopped Liam Cameron in round 2. At the very least, it needs to be a sideways move. And I'd encourage that. Whittaker should be looking to fight Craig Richards, Lyndon Arthur. Did Willie Hutchinson get stopped by Boazzi? But even him put Willie in there as well, man. Yeah? Craig Richards, Willie Hutchinson. Them other cats I meant, Dan Aziz, them type man. Because we know Boazzi had no problems with Dan Aziz. We know Lyndon Arthur as well. You should come on. Them man, they're not contender world challengers. So you, with all your talent, Dan Aziz wouldn't knock out Liam Cameron in round 2. Lyndon Arthur didn't. Lyndon Arthur had life and death, and that's what I'm saying. So if it's fair to say your levels above, those should be the man you're in the mix with now. Liam Cameron is one of them, man, in that mix. That top level, British level, I'd say. That top British level. That's where they are, fairly. British level / just above. Yeah, British champion level, I guess you'd call it. That's what you just beat. So, stopped. Make this make sense. And all it does is, I think, listen, I'm sure no doubt his little Instagram groupies will be wanking themselves off when he's clowning this plumber. But it also opens you up to risk as well. When you don't get a stoppage or you get clipped and have a life and death. At least if you have a life and death with Dan Aziz, there's some value to it. Now, he shouldn't be having a life and death with this dude. Not that I've seen him. Benjamin Gavazani. He shouldn't, but we've seen crazier things. I've seen Anthony Yard have a life and death with a Latvian cat. So this narrative of picking an easy fight, I don't know. The fans aren't interested. And it looks bad as well if it goes left for you. Or you have a hard night and, you know what I mean? And you don't learn nothing from it. Yeah? Fighters need to focus on getting their middle fights in. Who else is there who hasn't really had loads of middle fights? I'm sure there's loads of fighters these days. Yard's the one that comes to mind. What other British dudes do we have? Buatsi, what did he do? No, Buatsi did it properly. Buatsi was another one. Let's see when Buatsi stepped up. Because he fought Craig Richards, Dan Aziz. Those were the two that come to mind. Bolotniks was half a little bit of a step up. Craig Richards and Dan Aziz. Yeah, how many fights has he had? 20. He did fight a lot of bums to start out with, didn't he? He fought a lot of bums. But he's there now, end of the day. Whittaker's there now. You knocked out Cameron. You're there now. What are we doing? And since then, since Buatsi stepped onto that top British level, he fought Craig Richards, then Dan Aziz, then Willie Hutchinson, then Callum Smith. That is how it has to be, man, in my opinion. Yeah? Now, Buatsi won most of the rounds against Aziz. The Craig Richards fight was closer. But that is what prepares you, though. Yeah? For challenges. It's these fights you have to seek out. Now, listen. No doubt inevitably Ben will eventually take them fights. Am I being a bit gun-ho here? I'm just tired of seeing people fight bums. Especially when it's a step back for no reason. What is it? What do you want to do? You want to rub your ego? That's what it feels like to me. Oh, I had one good fight and now I want to rub my ego for another 3 fights because I'm on a matchroom rebuild. It's frustrating. And it don't create no excitement. I won't watch this, I tell you now. I'll watch the highlights. Not that he cares about me, but I'm just saying that's what the general feeling will be. When you've built some momentum, a lot of the hardcore / semi-hardcore were watching. I was watching Whittaker and Campbell. When you built that, and you've won in good fashion, you don't step back and lose that momentum. No one's watching this. I don't care what moody matchroom card they put it on. No one's watching this. No one's going to be thinking, oh, I'm watching this Whittaker fight. Yeah? Now, I don't know. Maybe it's the case all of the men that I've mentioned were busy and they couldn't. I don't think it's that at all. You saw Eggy was wanking himself off about signing Whittaker. So he would have moved heaven and earth to get him a proper fight. And there's even names up here. I think Zach Parker's fighting Buatsi, so he's busy. But what's Craig Richards doing? That would have been perfect. And I wouldn't even have minded if they'd have got Craig Richards on late notice. At least you're playing with us, right? At least you're lying to us. Oh yeah, we got Craig Richards. Craig would take it on late notice because why would he not? Not that I don't think that's a moral thing to do, but you get the point. He wanted the bread. He taking that fight. Yeah, so do the moody promoter tactics. Call Craig Richards up 4 weeks before and say, Bosh, at least lie to us. At least we get a name on there, even if he's not prepared, right? Don't do this. This is what I don't even want this. And even this cat, this will have been on 6, 7, 8 weeks notice. So unless he's ready already, he ain't really gonna be hella prepared. So you're fighting a cat who no one knows who isn't prepared. I'd rather you have fought a Liam Cameron or Lyndon Arthur who wasn't prepared. I think Lyndon Arthur's fine, but still. Who else you got here? There's Bear Man here, man. Any of these who are ranked higher than you. It's not like the division's full. What number is the cat they've picked? The cat they've picked is 50th in the world. That can't be miles off from where Ben is, to be fair. So Ben's 45th and that guy's 50th. So again, they're playing with the narrative Oh, Ben's... I don't know how Ben's 50th, though. That's weird. Ben Whittaker's below Edmondson and Dan Aziz. I would have thought that knockout win of Cameron would have put them above these lot, to be fair. Because even though I thought Aziz beat Edmondson. But what's he done in the last two? He's got a loss to Edmondson. No, tell a lie. He's got a loss to Buatsi. Aziz has. He's got a life and death draw with some Sepp Plummer. A loss to Edmondson, allegedly. And then he's fought two cab drivers. How is he above Whittaker? So these ratings are moody. But even with these ratings being moody, they're still playing. Right? What about that Ukrainian plumber? What's his name? The one that, in my opinion, robbed Edmondson. Where is it at? Daniel Lepin. The one who's hanging at the back of Usyk. They should have drug him in there, man. Yeah? Listen, man. The light-skinned Brits, we need a win against the Ruskies, man. That's what we need. Yeah, we need a win, man. So get him in there. Big lanky looking ass. He looked like one of them. That Lepin cat looks like... what's that film? The Lord of the Rings. You know them ones? What's the actor? You know the one who plays the elf? Is it the elf? The one with blonde hair and that. That's what he looks like, man. Big elven looking ass dude, man. Anyway, listen, man. It's more slop for the masses at the end of the day, which is a shame. I thought he'd broken out now. Yeah, I'm with Andy Lee. Yeah, I'm knocking dudes bark out for them. We're here. Oh. No, we're back on the rebuild with Matchroom. Bosh, Apples and Pears. Apples and Pears has pulled out the Matchroom rebuild for a winning and knockout fighter. Only boxing does is if you're in a lot of the UFC, man. Yeah, I've seen it before. A lot of the UFC, man. One sec. A lot of the UFC, man. Yeah. If they're ranked number 10, they want to go up. They're like, please, I'll do anything to fight number 6 or 7 or 5. I've seen some of them, man. I've seen some man ranked 10th, right, in the UFC. And there'll be a fight booked between number 4 and 5, for example. And then someone pulls out on the week of the fight. And that man who's in number 10, he steps in on late notice. I'll take it, I'm gagging, I'll hop in there right now. I need my shot. They hopping in there to get the rankings. These boxing, man, and to be quite frank, like I said, I'm not even saying I'd advise that. If I was the advisor of a 10th ranked UFC fighter and we got the call, yeah, do you want to step in on 1 week's notice? I'd tell him no. So I'm not someone who's super gun-ho. But these men do it. They're like, yeah, I'll run the fade right now. No problem. I'm pretty sure one dude, I've seen Volkanovski step in on late notice. I'm not sure he won. I think when Volkanovski fought Makachev the first time, maybe it was, or one of the times, he just flew in there. He flew in there, man. All the way from down under. He just flew in there and got at it. These, man, full camp, A-side camp, you can mug off the B-side with the moody 2 weeks notice shtick, and this is the best you dig up. Going down the rankings. Oh, I'm ranked 45th and I think I'll fight someone below me. Why? Where's the ambition? Yeah, I'm that good. Who won it? Who won it? Who won it next? Who won this? I just punched up Liam Cameron. Meferbiev. Who wants some more? Who wants some? You want some? Who wants some? You ain't doing that. Oh, canal. I've had a good fight now. It's almost like these new age man, especially light skin man. Like Anthony Yarde, he was always gassed about losing to world champion. He love it. I think Yarde got a fetish for losing to dudes. If you're a dude with a belt, Yarde love losing to you, man. That's his claim to fame. Well, I lost to every champion I fought. Like, listen, sport's hard. I'm not knocking him, but it's the mentality of it, man. There's no grafting. Where's Anthony Yarde's graft? Don't listen. I could get punched up by Kovalev. You see what? Where's the graft though? Where's the? I've gone through the mid levels and I've been triumphant and now I'm ready. There's no graft in there. It's all faffing around and politicking and sitting there plotting like, oof. And like I was saying, these new age men here, they take massive wins and they want to admire their work. Oh, yes, that's a relief. I've just knocked out Liam Cameron. Let me admire this. Let me bask in this victory for a year or two, or what. It probably will be 2 years. Yeah, I'll bask here. I'll live on that. I'll trade off of stopping Liam Cameron for a while and fight some plumbers in the meantime. What? Go up. That's... You know what I mean? Is that just me? You've done something at a certain level. At the very least, go sideways. You don't go down. Fuck. I don't care what corny matchroom matchmaker you got. Who's... Yeah, we'll take a few steps down now. I don't know. Maybe this Benjamin Gavazani cat is really good, but we know he's not. Why? If he was that good, if he was really 19-1 and knocking everyone out, they wouldn't have picked him. Yeah? Categorically and logically. No matchroom guy would say, yeah, let's fight this really hard plumber from Germany. Never. They'd just say, well, if we're going to fight someone really hard, we might as well fight someone with some British relevance, like Aziz or Richards. And a lot of these men, like Richards can be tricky if he turns up. If you don't know, it's just a good name to get on there. It's that name. It's that kind of mid-level knocking around name to get on there that we will take serious. Because Craig's not a punk. He doesn't always get it right, but you know what I mean. You know, he's not always consistent, but you know what I'm saying. You wouldn't. No one would deny it. That's a decent win. I wouldn't complain about it. That would be a fair selection. Same as Lyndon Arthur, or you get the names. I said them before, but anyway, it is what it is, man. Just we ain't got nothing to talk about now. That's for damn sure. Listen, we'll never talk about until Whittaker has another good fight. You know how we were doing probably once a week. I was talking about Whittaker versus Cameron. That feeling, forget about it, man. I was interested in this rubbish, man. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button. Check out my Patreon, man. We've got bare videos on bare man over here, man. Pause. The YB's roast of Andrew Tate. Wits. Yeah, click this Bindi button right here. And put your man the YB Bergstein on. Yeah, put your man the YB Bergstein. Put your man the JB... Put your man the JB Bergstein on, man. You woo. Get me that drink, man. Get me that Kabbalistic drink. Bosh, I'm out of here. No Johnny.